Hi everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to make some little trays. It can be also, and I think it would be lovely as a painting on the wall. Why not? Because it really looks like a painting. If you didn't have the holes here on the sides where you can put your fingers and use it as a tray, it would look also very nice on a wall for Christmas. I usually change the decorations on my walls, take away on the other paintings, and put something different. So that would be nice as well. But today we're going to use it as a tray. So I have bought very plain wood trays. They're very cheap. You have them in all size and in all kinds of shapes as well. Some are more rectangular, but I've chosen these because they fit perfectly my napkins, and we're gonna do napkin collage or papier collage. It's the same thing. We're gonna use acrylic paint. So here I have put gold. It's a very, I know it's going to look like it's yellow, but it's the normal color of gold. It's like my ring here. It's the same, kind of the same color. And I've put some red here because otherwise I thought it was gonna be all the same color everywhere. So I'm gonna show you that. And you can see that you can put a big mug in here, and you still can put a pastry on the side or maybe some little chocolates. I think it's very useful. I like using trays all year long. And I'm gonna show you the other one, so you can also put your candies in here. That's fine. And this is with another napkin, and I've put a ribbon here because I thought it was a bit dark. The green is dark in the background, and also this gold, which is more like an antique gold. And I think that I needed to put some lighter color. So this is why I added the ribbon at the very last minute. So again, I have put that gold everywhere. Few layers of varnish on top or Mod Podge. I'll explain that later, just to really protect your surface when you will put your pastries or your tea. If you have any kind of spills, it's not going to damage anything. I love paper or napkin collage. I've done this for years and years now, and my other trays haven't moved a bit. You can also pour some resin on top if you want to do that as well. I'm just going to make it very simple for everyone because not everybody has resin, and more specifically, because we're in between Christmas and New Year, I want to show you something very easy for everybody. But of course, you could put some epoxy resin on top. So of course, I chose here a Christmas theme, but you can do these little trays all year long with different themes. It can be for summer, it can be for fall. It's just something I wanted to do in between. And it is a nice idea. Like if you're invited to someplace for New Year's, you can offer this to someone. It can really be a nice gift. I've offered this in the past. I usually offer them in 2 or 3 for one person. And they really appreciate that because they think it's very handy. Okay, so with no further ado, let's get to the craft room and start doing some napkin collage. Okay, so I've cut out my napkin, and don't forget that usually you have, most of the time, in total 3 layers. So they're usually 2 layers, the backing, that you should take off. Sometimes it can be 2, and I'm going to show you. Usually the first one is quite easy to take off, and go slowly so you won't rip it apart. As you can see, this one is still very opaque, so that means that there's probably another layer. So I've taken out this one, and you can see the difference. So when it's very opaque, try to find it. You can wet your fingers and try to pull it off. That's the most, not difficult, but yeah, tricky part, and that's good. Okay, so I've tried to trim it down to almost the size of my tray here, so it would be easier to apply. And you have different schools, actually, when you do paper collage. I usually like to not put anything underneath. I'm not going to put a layer of glue, just because if you do that, put the glue first or the varnish, and then put your napkin. If you don't put it straight right away and you try to lift it off, you're going to rip it apart. So what I do is I directly put my napkin, and it's the easiest way. I've been doing napkin collage for years on all kinds of surfaces because I'm doing this on raw wood here, but you can do it also on glass, on almost everything actually. So I try to trim it down as much as I could. I leave a little space, but that's okay. So I know it's not going to move anywhere. And then you're going to start putting your varnish in the center. So I like to use a brush that is really soft. I know that some people like to use foam brushes. I am not crazy about foam brushes. I don't know why, but I have a better control if I just use a paintbrush here. Always start from the center. So you can use Mod Podge, but what I like to use is some kind of varnish that is really glidey or slicky. I think it's the right word. And you're going to work your way in a star shape like this, or sun shape, which means from the center to the outside. And if you don't want to rip it apart, because it can be something very tricky when you're not used to it, and even when you are, sometimes you do rip it apart. The secret here is to have enough glue to make it glide. When it starts to glide, because it's too dry, then that's when you rip it apart. So always have enough. You don't need to put a ton of it, but always put enough so your paintbrush is going to glide over the paper, and it's going to make it really easy. So I'm going to make my way through all of the napkin here. I am applying with not a big force, so again I won't rip it apart, and I'm pulling just a tiny bit, so I'm going to avoid the wrinkles. And if there are some wrinkles, they're going to be very little, very few. So I'm going to keep on doing this, and I'll come back for the rest of the tutorial. Alright, so my napkin is glued. I will put, like I said, a few more layers of varnish on top. I need to put some gold in here because I think the color is a bit, you can leave it plain of course, but I think it lacks a little something. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to paint it gold. I have this gold here, I think it would be nice, or maybe I've also found, but it's a bit too apparently pinkish, this metallic red. Let me see, I need to open it first. I've never opened it before to see really how it looks, but I think it's a bit too, yeah, it's a bit too pink for me, and I don't want a pink. I really want a red one. So what I might do is just use a regular red. So I'm going to apply acrylic paint everywhere, including on the bottom, and I'll come back when this is completely dry. So I finished this one. I have decided to put a little bit of red here on the sides, like I said before, because I thought that the color was a bit too dull. I needed something to pop out a little bit. I haven't put yet varnish. I would recommend to put varnish everywhere, whether it's matte or glossy, but it's going to protect your whole piece. Not only here, there you should put at least maybe 4 coats. Only 2 coats on the rest of the plate is going to be fine, or the tray, but I think it's going to be enough, and it's really going to protect it, and you will be used to use it years after years. So I'm going to show you the one here, and you'll tell me which one you prefer. So as I said before, I have put here a ribbon to make it pop out more because it was a bit too dark. Here, because I think it's really bright already, I am not going to add any ribbon. You could. If you made a mistake here on the side, you want to hide it, that would be the time you would put the ribbon if you want to hide your mistakes. So please let me know which one you prefer between these two. If you like the left on the left side or on the right side, I like them both because they're very different. And also, please subscribe to this channel and give me some thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notified every time I post a new video, and also share on social medias and leave me your comments below. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care and see you soon.